I'm Stephen Coulter, co-founder of Controlabill, and today I'm going to tell you about our game-changing direct debit authority management service, which is a multi-billion-dollar market globally. And that sounds like a mouthful, and hopefully in 5 minutes it'll make sense. My partner and I both have long-term banking expertise, so we've been to lots of these conferences in the past. They're mostly held in morning tea breaks once a year in banks. But this market is crying out for innovation, and we're really going to bring it to them. So we create and manage authorities in an aggregated hub for direct debit using Web 2.0 technology. And we're looking for investors, billers, disruptive new media companies, and innovative banks, if there are a few out here, to take it to market globally. Why direct debit? Well, billers love direct debit. It's the most efficient payment system out there. It's been around for a long time. It's the lowest cost transaction, typically about 10 cents for a biller to receive a payment through direct debit. Much lower customer churn. Churn rates for customers using direct debit are typically under 5% compared to in the ballpark of 25% for some industries whose customers aren't using direct debit. And it guarantees on-time payment. So it brings receivables forward. There's no cost for sending out reminder statements. But the billers have been jilted by the banks. They don't make it easy. It's a really cumbersome process, very much paper-driven despite the fact that technology exists. And even talking to the largest billers, they still have a fully absorbed cost of $20 and upwards to process an authority to set up a direct debit process, to set up a direct debit authority. And look at BPay. It's now back to the 4 big banks again, and the 4 big banks own and control BPay. There's no biller control over BPay. BPay payments are 70 to 80 cents for a biller. Direct debit's been around for a long time, over 40 years. Very intense paper process that can take from weeks to over a month in some companies to set up. It's expensive, inefficient, and despite the banks being part of it, they're incredibly passive and let the billers and the customers do all the work. And the customer not only has to do that work once, they have to do it for every biller they have a relationship with. So it's not surprising that the typical Australian household that has about 20 biller relationships, maybe only 2 or 3 have been set up with direct debit until now. We flipped that on its head. With Controlabill, our tool we supply to billers and to banks and to disruptive media companies to give them a simple tool so customers can set up all their direct debit authorities in one place, typically in under 30 seconds, and do it for all billers in that place, not having to go through a cumbersome process with multiple billers. It's brilliantly simple. We can set the authorities up in seconds. Our cost to the billers is a $2 charge per authority that we establish or modify on their behalf. And then we charge them $2 compared to the $20 and upwards that's costing them now. So it's a massive saving for them. And as you can see here, it's as simple as typing in a biller's name, your account number with the biller, estimating an amount, a frequency, categorising a bit like quick and hitting next. It's that simple. And it's patently innovative as well. We lodged our patent in the US Patents Office in April 2006, and our attorneys advised it's likely to be approved this year, and we've extended it to other regions under the PCT. It's a lucrative annuity business. As I've said, $2 per authority for each one we establish for a biller, or each one that we modify. And around 30% of authorities require modification each year because the customer changes address, changes biller, or changes bank account. We also charge billers $1 per year per authority for managing the inventory of authorities and providing them with a biller console to manage their customer authorities instead of them having to keep reams of paper and store them in warehouses for many years. For any of the top 50 billers in Australia who use our service, we generate revenue to Controlabill of $1 million plus in the first year, going up to nearly $2 million in the second year. The billers will be saving the billers over $10 million a year in the first year. It's a huge market, and direct debit is very much a global system that works the same way around the world, and for whatever reason, paper is still the predominant method of driving direct debit authorities. So we've got huge markets available to us, and as you can see, there's very small penetration typically of direct debit around the world, so we've got the ability to drive uptake of that market and capture that on the way through. So we create and manage authorities for direct debit in an aggregated hub. We've got additional high-value services that we haven't talked about today, like bill smoothing and doing that for customers across all their accounts. We've got paths to market where we're developing APIs and versions of our software for iPad and iPhone applications and those sorts of things, and multiple paths to market. So we'd love to talk to you afterwards. Thank you very much.